Have you ever just stopped and really thought about the incredible, almost overwhelming variety of life on our planet? I mean, from the smallest bug to the biggest blue whale, the world is just humming with creatures. It's beautiful, it's a little chaotic, and it's absolutely amazing. But how in the world do we make sense of it all? All right, let's get into it. When you see the raw power and just the elegance of a galloping horse, it fills you with this sense of awe, right? It's like this gut reaction to the sheer wonder of the living world. Or what about the incredible sight of thousands of birds all moving as one across the sky? It's like they're following some ancient invisible map. Or even the pure, intense focus of a shark in its element. These moments, they make you take a step back and just marvel at life itself. But they also bring up a huge question. How do we possibly begin to organize all of this incredible, overwhelming diversity? And that sense of wonder, it pretty quickly slams into a massive scientific challenge. Because we're not just talking about a few cool animals here and there, we're talking about millions of them, all different and all needing to be understood. Now, there's a word for all this variety, and it's biodiversity. It's a pretty simple idea, but it's also immense. It covers every single living thing on our planet. We're talking plants, animals, fungi, microbes, the whole shebang. And just how big are we talking? Well, right now, biologists have identified and given a name to somewhere between 1.7 and 1.8 million different species. But here's the kicker. We're finding new ones all the time. That huge number, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so you've got millions of species. Imagine the total chaos if we all use different names for them. Take this animal. One person calls it a puma. Someone else calls it a cougar. A third person calls it a catamount. Are they even talking about the same animal? See the problem? For science to work across the globe, we absolutely needed one standard, universal language. And that's exactly what scientists did. Out of this need, they developed this incredibly detailed logical system, a way to identify, name, and classify every living thing, a way to finally bring some order to all that beautiful chaos. And this science has a name. It's called taxonomy. It's basically the process of grouping organisms into these convenient categories, or taxa, based on the characteristics they share. Think of it like a giant library filing system for all of life. Now, taxonomy isn't just one thing. It's really a four-step process, kind of like a detective's investigation. First up, characterization. You've got to describe the organism's unique features. Then comes identification. You match those features to a group you already know. After that is classification. This is where you place it in the right spot in that giant library. And finally, you have nomenclature, giving it that single, unique, scientific name so that everyone, everywhere knows exactly what you're talking about. And that naming part, it's brilliant. It's a system called binomial nomenclature, which was pioneered by a guy named Carolus Linnaeus. The idea is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Every single species gets a two-part name, kind of like a first and last name that is totally unique and is recognized all over the world. Let's use the mango to see how this works. Its scientific name is Mangifera indica. That first word, Mangifera, is the genus. That's a broader group of related organisms. The second word, indica, is what we call the specific epithet. It's what pins it down to that one single unique species. See how elegant that is? So precise. All right, so we've got our tools, taxonomy and nomenclature. Now for the really cool part. Let's actually see how this system builds on itself. We're going to climb the ladder of life, following one animal from its most specific category all the way up to the most general. Let's go. We start at the bottom, on the ground floor, with the species. This is the most basic fundamental unit. In our case, Panthera tigris, the tiger. All tigers share these core similarities that make them, well, tigers and not something else. Now, take one step up and we get to the genus. The genus Panthera is a group that includes species that are really closely related. So our tiger, Panthera tigris, gets grouped with the lion, Panthera leo. They're different species for sure, but you can totally see they're like close cousins, right? From genus, we climb up to family. And this is where we group related genera together. So the genus Panthera, with its huge, powerful big cats, is placed in the family Felidae, right next to the genus Felis, which includes our much, much smaller house cats. Let's broaden our view again and go up to order. This brings together different families that still share some key characteristics. So the cat family, Felidae, and the dog family, Canidae, are both put into the order Carnivora. Now, a cat is obviously not a dog, but they're both mainly meat eaters. You're starting to see how the similarities get fewer as we go up, but the connections are still totally there. Above order, we have class. This is where related orders get bundled together. So Carnivora, with our tigers and dogs, joins the order Primata, which includes monkeys and gorillas. They all get placed in the class Mammalia. And what's the big connection? They all have body hair and they all produce milk to feed their young. Traits that, yep, we humans share too. Now we're getting really broad. Several different classes, like Mammalia, Aves, which is birds, and Reptilia, they all get grouped into the phylum Chordata. So what on earth could possibly unite a lion, an eagle, and a lizard? Well, at some point in their development, they all have something called a notochord. You can just think of it as a primitive backbone. It's this fundamental body plan that connects this huge, diverse range of animals. And finally, we've made it. We've reached the summit, the kingdom. All of these different phyla, basically all animals, from the tiniest insect to the biggest whale, belong to the kingdom Animalia. This is the highest, most inclusive category in our entire journey, the grand collection of all animal life on Earth. Okay, so we just climbed that entire ladder. What does it all mean? Why do we go through all that trouble? Well, the answer is actually pretty profound. What we've created isn't just a list. We've created a map of life itself. In this table, this is where it all just clicks into place. You can trace the complete classification for a human, a housefly, a mango, and a stalk of wheat. It's so powerful to see it laid out like this. Every living thing has a specific address in this massive branching system. It's not just a list. It's a map that shows us that, yeah, a human and a housefly are way different, but it also shows our unexpected connections. And that brings us to maybe the biggest takeaway of all. This whole system, it's not just some scientific filing cabinet. It's a family tree for all of life. This quote just says it perfectly. The realization that all living things, us, the dinosaurs, the bacteria in the dirt, are all related, that was a truly humbling discovery. We aren't separate from nature. We are just one small, very recent branch on a vast, ancient, and deeply interconnected story. So we've gone from this feeling of wonder to the problem of millions of species to creating a system of order. But this system does so much more than just organize. It reveals a deep, shared ancestry. Which really leaves us with a final thought. If we truly understand our place in this incredible web of life, if we really get that we are related to all of it, how does that change our responsibility to protect it?